2022 was one of the most insane years of real estate in my entire career. Glad that's out of the way. So now that we're in 2023, what are we expecting for this year? Let's talk about it. Hey guys, how you doing? Deroit here from M1 Realty. I'm the broker, owner of the company. Started the company in 2014 right here in downtown Ferndale, and we've grown it into the biggest real estate company in the city. We've got an all-star team of fantastic agents here to help you out whether you're looking to buy, sell, invest, rent, whatever you need, we got you covered. So in the past year, we've seen interest rates more than double, then start to come back down. We've seen inventory at the absolute historic low that it's been at and start to come up. So, it was a topsy-turvy year in 2022. So now that that's out of the way, in my opinion, things are going to start to stabilize in our housing market, but let's talk specifics. So ever since we've gotten out of the Great Recession, we're talking back like 2012, 2013, we've been in a seller's market, meaning that there's more buyers out there than there are houses to put them in. And, with interest rates being relatively low that whole time, there's been demand from buyers. There just haven't been as many houses to put them in. Now, as the consequence of that is the volume of the actual raw number of sales has been a little bit lower than, prior to the Great Recession. And, it's been, that's caused property values to go up, which, if you own a property is a really good thing, right? Well, it's the past 2 years has made it really difficult, even after you sell a home, to purchase a new one. So that's the problem that we were running into in the past couple of years, specifically and acutely in 2022. We were scraping the bottom of the barrel on inventory, and there was just a ton of demand because it was just so cheap to get a mortgage that it caused all kinds of problems. It caused more problems than it solved. And thankfully, nobody wants to see higher interest rates, but that's had the effect of kind of stabilizing the market a little bit. And if you watch these videos on a regular basis, the last month was the first kind of month over month decrease we've seen in the average price point, and it's not down by a lot. So we're not quite trending like what other cities are. I know Dallas is down 17%, Phoenix is down 20%. Lots of parts of California are down. Florida is just taking a beating right now in terms of average sale price. That's going way down. We're not seeing any of that. Not that we can't or won't, but I don't think that's where we're headed right now. And let me preface this whole video with saying, I don't have a crystal ball. I've just been in this business for quite a while, almost 2 decades. And one of the things that I do every day that I keep really diligent track of is, I've got a couple different key performance indicators that I watch every single day, and that would be inventory, interest rates, and volume of homes on the market. So let's start with interest rates, because that's kind of the thing on the forefront of most people's minds when they're thinking about buying a home. And right now, as we're speaking right now, in the beginning of the year 2023, our average 30-year fixed conventional mortgage interest rate, so your standard 30-year mortgage, we're looking right around 6.5%. Depending on your credit score, that could go up or down, but we're right around 6.5%. So in the grand scheme of things, the 40-year average, so going back to 1982, the average is 7.17%. So we're still well below that. We saw that big jump starting in April or May, and then it jumped up again in the summer, and that kind of put the brakes on a lot of buyers, because people that were kind of borderline, they started dropping out of the market because homes were starting to get too expensive for them to purchase. A lot of our lateral move buyers just dropped out because it was silly to if you had a $300,000 house and your mortgage is 2.5%, it's silly to buy another $300,000 house and your mortgage be 6.5%. So we lost all those buyers, which is actually a good thing for the most part, because that freed up a lot of that inventory for people who are first-time buyers or just had to find a home, as opposed to people that just kind of wanted to buy and get a change of scenery or whatever. It just made sense for those people not to buy, but it helped out the people that were really in a position where they had to find a home. And it also helped out a lot of home sellers because now they can sell their home and they have a place to move to, because that was like the main thing that I was hearing from a lot of people that, they wanted to sell their house. It's just they were nervous, like, once I sell it, where am I going to live? That was the most stressful part, was potentially being homeless. Like, you sold your house, that part was easy. You sold it in 3 days and got $30,000 more than asking, and yes, I negotiated 2 months of free occupancy after closing, but so that gives us 3 months to find you a house in probably the toughest buyers market, toughest market for buyers that we're ever going to see. So that part was a little stressful. I didn't lose any patience, let's put it that way. Everybody that I was working with, I was able to get into a house, but that's never a guarantee. And now it's just a whole lot easier. You're going to sell your house. We can still negotiate some occupancy. We can take our time, find you the right place to buy, like a normal real estate market. That's how things are supposed to operate. We just haven't been in a market like that for quite a while. And then the thing that most economists are forecasting, at least the ones that I pay attention to, we're all expecting, it's not going to be overnight, but probably by the spring, late spring, early summer, we're going to start to see interest rates start trending back down. So the Fed's keeping interest rates higher right now until we get a handle on inflation. Once that happens, I promise you, they're going to try and lower interest rates as fast as they can. They're going to be cautious at first because they don't want to lower rates and then have inflation go back up, which is a possibility. But, they're going to keep a close eye on it. But everybody that I've talked to that's on the mortgage side of the business is expecting mortgage interest rates to settle somewhere in the low to mid fives here, probably by the end of the year. And then I wouldn't be surprised if they even drop a little bit past that. But, we're not there. And again, a million different variables in that equation. Things could change. But, based on what we're looking at, that's probably where we're going to be. And obviously the cheaper the interest rate is, the more house you can afford to buy, and the more buyers out there are qualified. So that's going to, just add demand again into the market. But now we have actual inventory to put to find houses for those people. And talking about the amount of inventory that we have on the market right now, as a whole in the metro area, I think we're at about 2 months worth of inventory, meaning that if no other houses hit the market starting today, it's going to take 2 months to sell off everything that's currently on the market. It's really when it gets to about 6 months worth of inventory that it shifts really into a buyer's market. So, we're not quite in an extreme seller's market like we were, but it's not like, there's more inventory out there than we know what to do with, and, buyers have their pick of homes. That's going to cause prices to come down. We're not there. But we're in a market that's a lot more favorable to buyers than what we've been seeing for the past couple of years. And what we're experiencing right now is just a typical seasonal dip in the number of houses that are on the market. As of right now, as of an hour ago in Ferndale, for example, there were 58 homes on the market. A year ago, I think we were at 22. So we're seeing a lot more inventory than we had in the past couple years, but the past couple years were artificially low, like they were lower than they should be. I'm ecstatic with the amount of inventory that we have on the market right now, because it's not too high and it's not too low. So, if we were in a position where there's 20 houses on the market in Ferndale, that's telling me that we're positioning ourselves for another spike in average sale price, which is great for homeowners, but it's not so great for buyers. We're not seeing that. And we're not seeing too many houses on the market, which, for this time of year, if we had, 120 houses on the market in Ferndale, that would be a problem on the other side, meaning that, everybody's trying to sell their house to cash out while they can. We're not seeing that either. So this is like threading the needle. It's exactly where I would want to be in terms of inventory level. And then let's talk finally about the total volume of home sales in the market as a whole. And a number that I've talked about a few times in these videos, and I'll bring it up again because it really indicates where we're at in the grand scheme of things. But I like to look at the numbers from May of 2006. So we're looking, before the everything fell apart and the recession happened. But yeah, so that year, May 2006, in the entire metro area, which for some reason they include Livingston County, which is fine. So Oakland, Macomb, Wayne, and Livingston, there were 99,000 homes on the market in the entire metro area for that month, on average. And in May of 2022, there were 7,000. So that's that's the decrease in the amount of inventory that we've had on the market. And the reason why we were seeing, such drastic increases in average sale price, and why it was so hard for buyers to buy a house over the past couple of years was because inventory was that low, and interest rates being super low didn't help because more people were qualified to buy homes, and it just created like a perfect storm of frustration and futility for home buyers. And coupled with the fact that, there's a few different sources of inventory, the vast majority of inventory is going to come from people that are selling their house. But there's also foreclosures, there's, institutional sales, there's, probate and estate sales, and there's new builds. Builders have been kind of slow walking on construction, and a lot of builders have just like stopped completely right now until they see what's going to happen in the market. So that has definitely eliminated one source of inventory, and we're going to see what happens. I mean, and a lot of the new builds anyway, they happen on the outskirts of town. So if you're looking for something, Woodward corridor, you're more likely to find like a private builder, doing one house here, one house there as they can, rather than somebody like developing an entire subdivision, because there's just not a whole lot of room left to build around here in Ferndale and Woodward corridor. And then there's always going to be probate properties here and there, but that's always going to be kind of a smaller percentage of homes that hit the market. There really haven't been any foreclosures for the past couple of years, especially coming out of the pandemic. And there was moratoriums on evictions, moratoriums on foreclosures. So we're just starting to see a few of those come, and really we're not going to see a big flood of them. And I'll tell you why. Because number one, everybody's property values are higher than they were before. So, instead of getting foreclosed on, you're just going to sell your house. You're not going to ever get to that point where you get foreclosed on, because some people will, because people are in denial or whatever reason. But that's not going to be a flood of homes. Like I've back in the day, I was the volume broker for Freddie Mac for Oakland County, or at least the company that I ran, the department that I ran was, and we were doing. In 2009, I sold 109 homes on my own as a solo agent, and my team, we closed over 600. So, and we were just one of like many brokers out there. So I've been in the foreclosure business. I've never quite entirely gotten out of it. I've always kept one foot in that business, and I'm getting a few more orders than I used to. It's not going to be some flood of properties. It's mostly people that passed away during COVID, and now they either don't have heirs, or the heirs don't want the house and they just let it go back to the bank. Those are the properties that are getting foreclosed on. So it's not going to be just some massive wave of foreclosures. And there's not really any short sales to speak of either, because for the same reason, you don't have to short sale your house if it's worth more than what you paid for it. But we'll see what happens with builders. I have a feeling they're gonna start picking construction back up here as we get further into the year. But we're gonna see more inventory. There are gonna be a few foreclosures here and there. It's more sellers are gonna put their house on the market because they will feel comfortable that they have a place to move to once they sell their home. So we're gonna see things kind of get back to normal. I don't think we're not gonna get to a point where there's 99,000 houses on the market, maybe ever again. I don't know, because so many of the homes that were purchased during the recession are just investment properties now, and there's just they're making money for the people that bought them. There's no really reason to put those on the market. So. I'm sure eventually somewhere down the road we'll see that, but not anytime soon, and especially not 2023. So long story short, I really hope this video doesn't make me look dumb. I don't think it will, but I guess we're going to find out. But I think we're going to see a more favorable year for buyers and sellers. It's going to go back to more of a normal, steady, predictable real estate market without extreme highs and extreme lows. Interest rates are going to start to come back down. Inventory is going to come back up. And, there won't be chaos, which is a good thing, because we've had enough of that for the past couple of years. And as always, if there's any questions that you have that I didn't touch on, you can reach out to me anytime. My direct line is 586 248-491-5622. You can also reach me at 248-561-6155. Shoot me an email at dwerenka@m1realty.net. Smoke signal, carrier pigeon, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, whatever, I'm easy to get a hold of. And until next time, thank you so much for watching this, guys. I really like making these videos and helping people out. Happy to answer any questions that you have. And if you think this video will benefit anybody that you know, please, please, please share it out. I'd really appreciate it if you'd like this video, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, share this video with anybody that you think will benefit from it. That just keeps me in front of people just like you who want to know a little bit more about the Metro Detroit real estate market. And until next time, guys, thank you so much. We'll talk soon and have a good day.